too long, but I don't wanna come down. Caught up in a long free fall, you got me off of the ground. Sway for a minute, but play move side to side.
Hello everyone, thank you very much for tuning in. I feel like for this year there's already been so many life updates and it's only March, so it makes me feel excited for the year, but I'm just like, it all happening at once has been so crazy. But the first big life update is that Saya is back. I am so happy because she is one of my best friends and her living with us is just so fun, and I love her being back. Sounds so weird. And I'm just so excited, and it's felt like the longest time because she was in Japan for 8 months, and I remember being like, oh, like I wonder how things will be when she gets back, like what will like the vibe be. And the second we saw each other, it was like no time had passed. It was really fun. And part of why it's also been fun is that a lot of food places have opened while she's been gone. So I've been a little off track in terms of like my food spending over the past week because I've sort of just been eating out every single day in the name of Saya's back, let's go get dessert or whatever, which is so fair and I regret nothing. But that being said, for my budget's sake, this week I need to be more disciplined in that respect. Next update is that I recently got a new job, which I'm so excited about because it's in a retail space that I have always wanted to work in. The only thing is that last week was sort of the first week of properly working shifts and being on the floor, like being on the floor of a store, like actually working. That's like just some working lingo that only working people understand. Just kidding, that was just in case it sounded like I was just lying on the floor. It coincided with the first week of uni. I am very behind. Like it's mainly orientation stuff I know is covered in the first week, so I know it's not that dramatic, but I have a lot of studio hours this year. And I'm not really sure what that means and what the sort of workload is when I'm not at class, because I had one class last year and it was like, it wasn't communicated very properly about how the time frame we submitted stuff every single week actually like impacted our grade, and we'd actually be marked down if we did it late. And it was so weird, but it was never like properly clarified. And while everything worked out fine in the end, it was just like a mess. But we'll see how this week goes in terms of catching up and figuring out what all that stuff will look like. The next sort of update I wanted to talk about was something I've been working on. Essentially for my Etsy store, I had this idea of making these really cute pouches that were inspired by the fact that I'm always moving my beauty products from like bag to bag whenever I want to use a different bag with a different outfit. And I was very proud of myself because I actually executed it like I've never sewn before. But I spent hours, like literally hours every single day trying to sew these bags to hopefully put on Etsy. And I think I made like enough that I was thinking I wanted to sell. But I sort of got to the point where when I was making them, I was like, I don't think I would want to put these up to sell. I even designed the fabric, which you can look at. I don't know if it's going to focus. Yes. But all of the zips sort of had this like folded in look, which I couldn't figure out how to change and how to stop doing. And I eventually sort of realized that it's because of the length. It's like hard to tell, but essentially around this front fabric, there was like a white border, so I knew how to cut. And so if I'd maybe gotten the fabric made with like the design a little bit bigger, it would have fit the zips I'd also bought to fit it. Or if I'd bought smaller zips. All this to say, it didn't work out, and it didn't like none of the bags were looking exactly like perfect with where the zip was concerned. I feel like totally fine about the situation because it was my first time sewing, and I feel very impressed with myself that I managed to pull this off. Like the fact that I taught myself to sew this is mind-blowing to me. As this like the soundbite of Scissor has been doing the rounds of like, you know, I love being delusional. It leads me to very high highs, it leads me to very low lows. I have experienced the highs and lows of delusional, and this was undoubtedly one of the highs. So the fact that I was like, I can just learn to sew. At the end of the day, even though it didn't work out, and I invested a bit of money and time into it, I wasn't like too disappointed because I felt like a lot of it was a success. And I feel like I have a more realistic idea of how to accomplish like sewing activities now from now on as well. I am so exhausted, so I'm going to go to the gym. It's not like a physical exhaustion, it's more just that I have no brain cells. But yes, thank you very much for listening to this. I feel so much pain when I think of editing this video because I know that everything I just said, like, you won't know because you're watching this and it will have been edited, but so much of what I just said, I said like 3 times over to fully like evaluate / refine my thoughts because nothing was making sense. So hopefully, I'm really hoping that once I look at this, it's not going to be absolute drivel. And I hope you have an amazing week, and please subscribe if you like this video.